again everyone and welcome back to another anime figure review, and today I'm looking at this, the Variable Action Heroes Luffy by Megahouse. So there is the box and we've got a window in the front to see into the figure, picture on the side here of the figure itself, around here on the side, close up of the head, Variable Action Heroes Monkey D. Luffy. The picture on the front runs around onto this side here. We've got the Mugiwara Pirate's skull and crossbones here, the Mugiwara Pirate's skull and crossbone, and here on the back some pictures of the figure out of the box and in action. So as always, let's bust this thing open and see what we've got. Again, on the inside there is the skull and crossbones in black on red, and that looks pretty cool. There's the clear inner packaging with the figure. Flip that around. Two variants of the straw hat, some alternate head parts, two alternate faces, and some hands. And the major thing to really surprise me about this is the scale. It's actually much bigger than I thought it would have been. And just open that up the rest of the way, and there is the figure itself. Now let's check it out. And there he is out of the box, and what can I say? He looks awesome. But Megahouse really have committed what I think is the #1 cardinal sin when it comes to making a posable figure like this. They didn't include a stand. Sure, you could say he can stand up quite fine on his own 2 feet there, but that's all he'll be able to do, just stand there. Without a stand, that does mean no aerial or dynamic poses, sadly. But straight off the bat, what can I say? This does look fantastic. I've always been a bit curious as to why there's never any good one-piece posable figures. There was a few a while back by Tamashii Nations, but one look inside one of those boxes was enough to make me say no, definitely not touching one of those. But this is a whole other story right here. This looks epic. Getting a bit closer now to the face, and the detailing on here does look great. It does look a little bit gurney, but the details are sharp and expertly applied. Great attention even to the sculpt of the ear there, and that hair looks beyond awesome. The sculpt is perfect. Lots of small individual spikes on there and not a mold line to be seen at all anywhere. Moving down to the shirt, and that looks epic as well. The paint on there looks really nice. Some great shading on there, but I did notice that this part here, which is soft, is a little bit darker than the parts here which are hard. The buttons on there painted really well in a metallic gold. The paint on the top one is a little bit off, and there is a bit of a visible nub mark here as well. Around on the back there's one visible one there too, but not so bad. The sculpt on here looks great. Nice shading too. The sculpt on the torso is impressive. The muscles are nicely sculpted, as well as the collarbone up here, and that scar looks awesome on there as well. Around the waist we have his sash, and this is made out of a soft flexible rubber. That looks very nice as well, and there are the trousers in a nice bright blue. We also have some white dry brushing detail down here on the torn up ends down here. The flesh is done in a nice matte skin tone, some shading down the length there. The joints do look unpainted and stand out a little bit against the painted parts. And finally there's the foot and sandal, and the detail on there is great as well. Like I mentioned, this figure is a bit bigger than I had expected it would be, and it comes in at around 17 centimeters. Which means, disappointingly enough, that it's not to scale with Figma, Revoltech, SH Figure Arts, and all those figures that are in and around the 1/12th scale, which is definitely an odd decision. So there is Luffy with everything that he comes with, and that's 2 versions of the straw hat, 2 alternate faces, alternate hair, as well as 2 pairs of alternate hands. So onto the faces, and there is the default face you've seen already. Next is that big, typical Luffy grin. And last up is this angry shouting face, and I love the way they've even sculpted on the veins on the forehead. That is some epic attention to detail right there. To change faces, it's the same as most figures, just off with the front of the hair, off with the face, stick on the face that you want, and then back on with the front of the hair again. As for the hats, there's one that can sling around his neck like that, and the other one goes on his head. And to do that, you have to use the alternate hair parts. The alternate hair parts look like this, with a little nub on the top for attaching on the hat. And there is the hat on. And did anybody else notice that throughout the series the hat seems to have gotten bigger, and now it looks a little bit on the ridiculous side, to be honest. And as for those hands, there's the default fists, a widespread open palmed hand, and some open palmed hands with the fingers together. So now onto the articulation, and as always from the head down. The head all the way to the front, that's pretty good. All the way back, doesn't go back too far. We've got some tilt there as well, and there it is all the way around. The arm all the way up, and that's quite impressive. That can spin all the way around as well. Watch out for that happening. The bend there at the elbow, there's the wrist up, down. So this is pretty much your standard wrist joint right here. The ab crunch here, a little on the restricted side. Not much side to side either, a little bit. I guess that's not so bad. The leg all the way up to the front, so not much there. All the way to the back, again, a little restricted. And there it is, all the way up to the side, and that's pretty good. Can you do the splits? Not really. There is the bend at the knee, and the ankle all the way down, all the way up. That can spin around, tilt side to side. And last up, the toes can bend. So the articulation here is pretty great. Not awesome, but it's good. So as for the overall quality, the paintwork is amazing. This thing's looks really is its strongest aspect. We've got flexible materials here, which is absolutely great, and the joints are all pretty strong for the most part. It does feel a little bit loose at times, but it will hold everything you put it in. So it's definitely a solid figure, to say the very least. So that is it for the review. There is no denying that this is a beautiful looking figure. It's really nice. It's expertly crafted and looks so good. The larger scale looks good as well, but it has the down point that it won't really match in with any of your other figures that are around the 1/12th scale. It's pretty solid as well, but I've had some things by Megahouse break in the past. A lot of things break in the past. So it's probably good to be on the cautious side with this. Also, I would say it is a bit light on the accessories. And of course, the biggest down part has to be the lack of a base. That is downright stupid that they wouldn't include one. This is already an expensive enough figure. To not have something like that included is a disappointment. But on the whole, this is a fantastic figure, and you won't get a better posable Luffy anywhere else. So as always, thank you for watching, and make sure to come back for more anime figure reviews. Thanks for watching.